Hello, welcome back to Malicious Compliance Stories. We have another 3 stories for you today. Want me out of the bathroom? No problem. You want every single denied claim filled out as if it was approved? You got it. And use the broken computer? Sure. But before we begin, don't forget to subscribe to our channel if you're new here and turn on notifications so you don't miss a new video every single day. Alright, let's get started. Our first story. Want me out of the bathroom? No problem. So, this is actually my sister's story, but she doesn't have read it and I love her story so much. It's kind of long, but it's great. Okay, so my sister has always been a sweet, people-pleasing type of person. She is always willing to stop what she's doing to help anyone. Even if she's not having a great day, she will still help and not half do it. Well, this day she really was not having a great day. She was at work, and it was sucking because she was the only one doing anything while her other coworkers just stood around. When her shift was about to end, she was asked to do one last thing: clean the 2 bathrooms. At her work, there are 2 bathrooms, but both just have one toilet. One sign says, family restroom, they just call it the women's, and the other sign says, men's restroom. I know it's weird, but they just had the one restroom originally, so they put in another bathroom when they expanded and called it the men's. So anyway, she'd almost finished cleaning the women's restroom when a woman walked up behind her. She tells my sister to leave because she needs to get in there. My sister kindly told her she was cleaning them but was almost finished and then she would leave. Well, the woman told her no and to just hurry up and leave. My sister told her that it's totally okay for her to use the other restroom as they were both the same and no one really cares. The lady again said she didn't want to use the men and insisted that she get out of her way. Normally I think my sister would have just left, but since the lady was being so rude, she decided to keep cleaning until she was done. So finally, all my sister had to do was restock the toilet paper because it was empty, which she told the woman waiting. Well, the woman told her not to and to just hurry up and get out of her way. So my sister did. She got up, grabbed the roll of toilet paper, and walked out of the restroom. Then she turned around to the woman, held up the toilet paper, and said, "Okay, well the restroom is open now, but if you're going to wipe with your hands, just make sure to please wash them before you leave. Thank you." It's definitely something she would normally never do, but I'm so proud of her anyway. Our next story. You want every single denied claim filled out as if it was approved? You got it. I worked as a claims adjuster for a few years and did claims on anything with wheels or propellers. Automotive, RV, motorcycle, ATV, boat, jet skis? We did it all. Doing automotive claims was our bread and butter and was easily documented in full because it's easy to find part numbers, prices, and labor times. RVs, on the other hand, were a bitch. There weren't any industry standardized part numbers, several labor guides all had extremely vague and vastly different times for the same repair, etc. Everyone hated getting an RV claim because it took forever to gather all the info and enter it into the claim. The same goes for boats because we get one of those maybe twice a month. You would literally have to Google parts websites and attempt to find a similar part at a price close to what they were asking if it was going to be approved. One of the good things about the process was that all of the contracts, regardless of vehicle, had very definitive reasons why a claim would be denied. For example, covered under manufacturer's warranty, listed as excluded in the contract, owner negligence, stuff like that. Whenever one of those came up, you thanked the old JC because you could just take down their estimate and deny it without verifying their estimate. Our VP, the highest manager in the building that actually reviewed our work, was the classic "I don't like to do the work, I just supervise" type. Then it happened. One day, a rightfully denied claim was elevated all the way up to him as a result of constant whining by a Karen who worked at a large dealership. The VP decided to approve it anyway, even though it was cut and dried, not covered. The problem? The adjuster didn't verify the parts and labor estimate before denying it, as it was about as clear as day it was to be denied. The VP had to spend, God forbid, 5 minutes verifying 2 parts and labor time. He flew off the handle at this and, after the fact, called a department-wide meeting stating that from now on, regardless of the claim, we had to verify every part and labor cost before denying. When asked why, he even said with a laugh that he didn't like to do work but had to on that claim, so now it is on us. Did I mention the job was run like a call center with calls constantly in queue from repair facilities? We had calls in the queue non-stop from clocking in to clocking out. If we weren't answering them quickly enough, we'd get an email that said, "Calls backed up, watch the queue." That was the most work he wanted to do. I think you can see where this is going. Here comes the malicious compliance. From that point on, I made sure to take my time and document every single aspect of every denied claim, regardless of the reason for denial. Does a 20k mild diesel F-250 need an entire fuel system replacement that's covered under the factory warranty? Well, I could just take your part numbers down and deny them, but not now. Oh, there are 50 part numbers and 6 different labor ops? I'll go ahead and verify those and then deny them. Is there water intrusion into the shocks of this RV? Even though it's clearly stated water intrusion isn't covered, I'll gladly take the 20 minutes required to sift through RV parts websites to verify pricing. Oh, and you have requested labor time? Let's check our 5 labor guides to try to find it. Another 20 minutes gone. The best part was that I would get claims on vehicles and from customers that weren't even ours but one of our competitors that had a similar name to us. Being the dutiful employee I was, I made sure to create a customer profile for them, a profile for the repair facility, and one for their vehicle. I started a claim, fully vetted it, and then informed the facility that it was actually our competitor who had the contract, not us. They were wasting 20 to 30 minutes on the phone when I already knew it wasn't with us. Every single claim that was denied was verified. I spent more time verifying denied claims than I did approved ones. Our call queue times more than tripled after a couple months. Then we had to have one-on-one meetings with the VP to discuss why our production was falling. When my meeting came up, he said I went from being the fastest and most productive adjuster to failing below average and asked what was happening. Did I have issues at the office? Issues at home affecting my production? I wanted to smile and laugh, but I stayed as stoic as possible and told him that I remember how much he hated to do work, so I wanted to make sure every denied claim had every T crossed and I dotted in case it came across his desk. He asked why I was doing it for claims that clearly would never be considered for approval, and I said that I was a lowly adjuster and could never know when he might have to approve an otherwise denied claim and wanted to do my job to the best of my ability to help him out. I left a couple months later but was told by a friend who worked there that the VP left the company to pursue other opportunities and was replaced by the awesome manager who I had reported to directly. I guess the dealership started complaining about wasted time on the phone on top of all the queue delays. The complaints finally got sent up to the CEO, and out he went. And our last story. Use the broken computer? Sure. I'll be a bit vague because I'm still in the same industry. But back in the early 2000s, I worked in a large work center. There were around 300 of us employed there with the same degree or profession. We worked by using shared computers in different departments that we rotated through in the building throughout the day. Anyway, one day I went into the area I was supposed to work in. For the sake of the story, let's say there were 20 computers in that department. Well, there were 20 of us that were supposed to work and one of the computers had a huge "do not use" sign on it. Well, I went to ask management if they could move me to another task, but before I could ask, they yelled at me for not being at my post. I tried to explain, but they said get to your assigned department and figure it out. So, I went back to the department and signed on to the computer that had the "do not use" sign on it. And the entire system went down immediately, and not one single person could work at all for over an hour. And a huge building full of people rejoiced because they had never had a break ever before. A handful of the people near the broken computer knew what I had done, and they cheered me on, despite me telling them to cut it out before management heard. It was the only time I ever saw some of my co-workers smile, and it was one of the best days at work I ever had. Well, that's all for this video. Thank you for tuning in, and I'll see you all in the next one.